Welcome to 2019 with Nerd on Nerd. What do I usually say? I threw myself so quickly.
You had this nice new start, but instead
with
of
me,
there we go.
Got it. I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it. We're back with me, Ellie Kempster,
And me, Liam Underwood. Wow. Yeah, that's it's 2019.
We're off to a good start. Don't worry, guys. 2019's the year Nerd on Nerd fixes itself.
Well, that's the plan. I feel like we've had this plan in previous years. Not last year.
Yep.
Last year, less.
Last year, we're just going to write it off.
Yeah, I mean, last year, we were optimistic at the start of last year, but I think
the New Year's special episode was called the optimistic episode.
Yeah, I think the year just wore us down.
It did. 2018's been hard, guys.
We've had Brexit to deal with.
Oh,
and then we were looking over at what America was doing, and that was scary. And then...
Yeah, we've done some shit, but so have you, America. So just because we said Brexit, don't get high and mighty, because you've got old Trump in there. We've got Brexit, you've got Trump. It's all a bit of a shit show.
You've got Russia.
2019.
Russia's there still, but...
They're doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about 2018, really, is North Korea piped down at last.
I think they just sort of went, nothing we do will be as crazy as the rest of the world. Maybe we should just stop.
Yeah, I think it was like the sort of thing like, how do we act out to get attention? And they're like, probably the only thing we could really do now to get attention is set off a nuke. So maybe we don't do that.
It's like when a kid's crying and then the parent just goes, Wah! And the kid's like, I don't know what just happened, so I'm going to stop.
Yes.
It's like that.
Yeah, except in this case, the parent was the rest of the world.
Yeah, it just sort of went insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a wonderful start to our New Year's special episode.
Yeah, this episode, later on, we're going to be kicking things off in true Nerd on Nerd style by talking about a film called The Void.
Yep.
But before we get to all that, it's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam, our first catching up of 2019. So, we've got a lot of catching up to do.
There's been so much going on, listeners.
There has. It was my birthday. I know that you're all probably like, I thought his birthday episode was like a month ago. It was. We have to do it that way.
Because... And what Liam does is he milks his birthday for 2 episodes and thinks that I don't realise that's what he's doing, but I know.
Yeah, well, I think last year I milked it for 3. So
the best thing about this episode is going to be, I believe in the Christmas episode, we talk about how you were sort of this like spoiled child. And I've just realised that one of the things you're going to have to talk about is the presents you got. And it doesn't like dispel that myth, let's say.
It was my birthday.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned on my birthday episode what my plan was, which was I had paid to take myself, Kat, my mum, and her partner to see Hamilton as like partly their Christmas present, but mostly my birthday present to myself.
Yeah, it's sort of like what I've done for my parents.
Yeah, exactly. This was my second time seeing Hamilton. Now, I don't know if it's because it was literally like 4 days away from Christmas, but 2 of the main cast members, at least two that I kind of noticed, were played by different people. And like literally a few weeks before my birthday, the first song of Hamilton was performed on the Royal Variety Show.
Yeah.
Which is like this British show that I think they do a load of variety acts for the Queen or something ridiculous like that, right?
Or how did you solve that one, Sherlock? Sorry, I don't want to start mean.
That's fine.
This is the first episode. Be positive, Ellie. Yeah, Liam. Yeah. I think that is what they do. So it's a variety show for the royals.
Yeah, Kat showed me last night the Hamilton performance, and the main guy, like the guy that plays Hamilton, and the guy that plays Burr, it was the people on the Royal Variety Show that we saw the first time we went to see it. But when I went to see it the second time, it was 2 different people doing that role.
Okay.
The guy that did Hamilton was fine. The guy that did Burr wasn't as good, which was disappointing. Which is why I now want to go see it for a 3rd time, and hopefully I can get good Burr again, because he's so good. He has like a slight lisp, but he's really good.
Yes, I've seen him on stuff.
Yeah, he's amazing. But it was still superb seeing Hamilton again. Before that, we went to a restaurant that used to be co-owned by Michael Caine.
Cool.
It was called Langan's. I didn't realise. There's some celebrity spotting in Langan's.
Who did you see, Liam?
I saw Gemma Collins.
Who is that?
She was in, or is in, The Only Way Is Essex. Which
I know the name. Yeah, I've seen her.
For our American listeners, The Only Way Is Essex is sort of like, I'm guessing, Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean
That's
Jersey.
type
Well,
of-
it's they're less like they're a different because Jersey Shore they're sort of like not scummy is the wrong word,
Trashy.
but yeah. Whereas the only way is Essex. They're not like trash. They're sort of like
No, but
rich kids.
it's that like scripted reality show, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same format. They're just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's still-
she
it's a trash
was
show.
milling around this restaurant with her other half, Arj. If you've seen the show,
How
you'll know
do you
him.
know all their names?
I honestly don't know. I've never watched an episode.
Why do you know who her boyfriend is?
I don't. He's in the show as well, obviously.
Yeah, but you don't
But-
watch the show.
No, I don't know how I know this. I'm just I'm a man of the people.
Who spotted them?
I did. We had
What?
to.
How do
We
you
had to
know
walk.
them?
We had to walk past her to get to our table.
The idea of you walking into a restaurant, turning to Kat, your mum, and Ian, and going, "Oh, it's Gemma Collins from The Only Way Is Essex and her partner Arch."
Yeah.
I imagine they were all like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly. No, we had to walk past them because she was blocking the way. She was getting right in the way because she was
Classic.
busy talking to Piers Morgan.
We're not usually like, no, he's a dickhead and I hate him. I'm going to take that. I'm going to be the hero and take that stance.
No,
he's a right dickhead.
I completely agree. I feel like what he has done is he's gone, if I say just shitty things, people pay me money.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Katie Hopkins. And
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I, for some reason, have enough blind faith that these people don't actually believe these things they're saying. They just go, me saying this gets me money.
I think they also believe a lot of the shit they say.
Yeah, I'm
I
worried
think
that
isn't
that's
she like
true.
anti-vaccines and stuff?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Some of it is so extreme. I'm like,
Because
how
that's
can you...
because that's not even like oh I'm just doing this for a if you're anti-vaccine you are literally
Stupid.
like, you could potentially kill someone.
But I'm sure, like Katie Hopkins, I'm sure is the person that went on a TV show in the UK called This Morning and said she hates parents who name their children after places.
Yes,
And then it was
she
pointed
is.
out to her that her child is named India.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, some of the stuff is just so ridiculous like that you've got to think she's doing it deliberately to provoke
I
reactions.
think they might just. I don't think that's. Even if they are, I don't think it forgives them for saying it on national
100%
TV.
it doesn't. If anything, it makes them more scummy, I think.
Yeah, it would. I think.
Yeah. But I feel like with Piers Morgan, I don't know if he fully believes everything he says, or if he's just like, if I say this, it's going to get me attention.
Yeah, some of the clips you see of him, I am like, oh, you're just saying it because
Exactly.
I'm Piers Morgan and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck off.
So the food at this place was really nice. I had a deconstructed pie where it comes with
It's
like...
one of those places.
That's the thing, right? You look at the menu and it's half like fancy stuff and half just normal stuff. And I thought what I was ordering was a normal thing. And then it comes out like... Because it's just described as a pie. Then it comes out and it's literally like the fillings on one side of the plate.
Oh, well,
the
that's...
pastries on another. And I think that was
They
mash.
shouldn't do that. That's false advertising. You should have thrown it on the floor and said, I want a fucking pie.
It was delicious, is the thing.
How do you eat it?
Well,
Do you have to scoop the filling onto slices
well,
of
no, 'cause
pastry?
yeah, basically that's how I did it.
Well, that's weird. What's the point? That's too much effort. Put it in a pie.
Well, I mean, when you order
That's
a
a
pie,
lazy
you would
chef.
expect it, right?
I'm sorry if we've got any chef listeners and they make things like deconstructed pies. I am sort of joking, but at the same time, make a fucking pie.
Yeah, it's not hard, is it?
No, you're giving us work to do, and Liam's the one that paid for that.
Yeah.
So you know,
So my mum sent me like a couple of restaurants that she was like, "Oh, this will be nice to go to, and it's your birthday, and you're treating us to Hamilton, so my treat to a nice meal." And
okay.
I'll be honest, the only reason why I chose Langan's was because on the menu they had my favourite pudding of all time. For American listeners, pudding is dessert.
do they not know that? No, they say pudding.
Do they? Amanda, let us know. But yeah, fruit salad.
I hate that that's your favourite pudding.
I know, and it genuinely is. The thing is, it's so rarely is an option in restaurants.
Yes, because it's just chopped up fruit.
I know, and anytime it's an option,
Restaurants
I
don't
get
do it because everyone would go, this isn't dessert, you're just chopping up fruit and giving it to me.
Yeah, and it makes me so happy every time I have it.
Ugh.
I love fruit. I'm one of those weirdos that like. I think
No,
it's
no. It doesn't make you a weirdo. Again, I'm not saying that people that like fruit salad are weird. I'm saying someone that thinks that fruit salad is their favourite dessert.
But
is
bear in
weird.
mind, I'm also someone that doesn't eat chocolate, which rules out 90% of desserts.
He did though, listeners. He used to eat so much of it. He was like the kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I really
Augustus
was.
Gloop.
Yeah.
Liam was that kid.
And
Thin.
I think if I'd have carried on down that route, I'd have had some serious health problems.
Oh yeah, you would have. You
Yeah.
would have diabetes.
Yes, exactly. So I think the only reason as well that I managed to wean myself off of chocolate is because I love fruit so much. And like,
Yeah.
for me, it was a real just stop being lazy type thing where I would always go to chocolate because I'm like, I don't have to prepare it. But if someone was like, I will either present to you a bar of chocolate or a bowl of fruit, I would always go for the fruit. So it's just training myself to not be fucking lazy and go and cut up some fruit.
I love that the listeners have heard all these episodes of Nerd on Nerd, and I'm just picturing a listener hearing you saying, I just trained myself not to be lazy, and then going, the two co-hosts of Nerd on Nerd not being lazy. That's not a thing.
It's not. But anyway, went to Snagans. I don't know how to put this delicately, right? But
okay.
I did I woke up and I did like a birthday morning poop and it was glorious.
Yeah.
Finished my deconstructed pie. There was nothing wrong with the pie, but I don't know if it was like the excitement for Hamilton or what it was, but like I immediately had to poop again in this like fancy restaurant. And I was
your
like,
body's we've dealt with this before. You having a weird body that seems to somehow process food within milliseconds of it entering your mouth.
Honestly, it was the sort of thing where literally I sat down and just immediately everything opened up and it was amazing.
Did you make it through the whole of Hamilton?
Yeah, no. So we did the restaurant before Hamilton.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, because if you immediately pooped, that almost sounds like something was going wrong.
Oh no, I don't know what. Like I said, it might have been excitement for Hamilton. I don't know what it was. I had to go. I went and I was sat there and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can hear Piers Morgan outside. And also, so this is a thing that bothers me, right? Is when you go to like restaurants and stuff, when they only have one, especially like in the men's, they have just like one stall.
Yeah,
I don't like using.
Like, so you're like, if someone comes in here needing to poo,
they've got to
either I'll get out and they'll have to deal with what I've left behind, smell wise, or they'll have to wait and hear me violently shitting.
Yeah. And to be fair, it wasn't violent. It was like soft serve ice cream, if anything.
I don't need to know.
But it was amazing. It was so good. But yeah, I think a couple of people came in and were like, oh, it's occupied, and then left, which is good. I would rather that than them just like hover.
Oh, I'd hover, just to make you feel warm.
Oh, no, I would too, but luckily that wasn't the situation. But yeah, after that, I was absolutely fine. It was just one of those things that I was like, I got halfway through my pie and then was like, something needs to happen here. And I was like, nah, let's finish the pie first.
Okay. Well, I'm glad, because knowing how slowly you eat, I can only imagine how annoyed I would have been if halfway through a meal, so already, like, everyone else has finished.
Yeah,
they're
I'm
on,
very
like,
slow
tipples
eater.
and desserts, and Liam's just sitting there halfway through a pie, and then he's like, guys, I need to go do a poo as well. Oh, I'd walk out.
Fun story. Christmas Eve, me and my mum have this tradition of going to our local Indian for Christmas Eve.
Of course you do. You have such a weird Christmas.
Yeah, I know. This year, Ian was around, so he came with us, and we also met one of my mum's friends who like lives in the area. They met through like dog walking. Like, they both had dogs.
Dog walking clubs.
Yeah. It wasn't like a club.
Dogging clubs.
No, not a dogging club. They just have both been walking their dogs at similar times of the day and met each other.
Late at night.
Yeah. Anyway, so this woman, right?
Near the car parks.
I was sat next to her while I was having my Indian, and obviously everyone had finished like a good 10-15 minutes, and I was still, ploughing on through. She turned to me and she was like, are you not enjoying your food, or are you just a really slow eater? And I'm like, I'm just slow. Like,
it's bold to call someone out. Does she know you very well?
Not particularly well. I've met her like twice
before. So yeah, that's a bold thing to do.
Yeah, and then I was just like, just let me enjoy my Indian. I think next year I'm just going to say to my mum, let's not invite your friends. I don't need to be called out on Christmas Eve. Trying to get into the festive spirit. Someone's picking
Your life is almost like a sitcom. Like you're this 30-year-old man.
31 now.
and you have these like the sort of things happen to you that where like I could see that happening to a teenager, but somehow it's happening to you.
Yeah.
But you're also with your mum, so it's like this whole I don't know.
It's like Arrested Development.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, it's great.
But anyway, back to my birthday. Saw Hamilton. That was amazing.
Of course.
Absolutely loved it. Just so good. I'm so excited for you to see it because you've started listening to the soundtrack now.
I fucked up.
I think that was smart because the first time I saw it was the first time I hadn't listened to any of it beforehand apart from like 2 songs. And in all honesty, it was quite overwhelming, which is the primary reason why I wanted to go see it again.
Yeah, but the problem is, Liam, I've still got like a month and a half longer than that till I can see it.
Yeah.
And I for the last 3 days, I think, I've tried to listen to other stuff, but every single day I end up listening to either the entirety of that Hamilton soundtrack, or like the best songs, which is maybe like half of the Hamilton soundtrack.
Yeah, I have to admit, I think the first half is stronger than the second half.
Oh, but there's some real good stuff in the second half.
There is.
The fucking Cabinet Office battles are great.
Yeah. I mean,
and also the end stuff, towards not the end, the bit before the end.
Yeah.
That bit. Woo!
And then I can't remember the exact name of the song. Is it In the Eye of the Hurricane? Or is it just called Hurricane or something?
Hurricane.
That is such an underrated song, I think.
That whole segment is just a work of art. And the first time I listened to it, I was, admittedly, listeners, I had no sleep the night before.
Yeah.
So already I was out of whack a little bit. Mm-hmm. I decided to myself, I went, I'm going to listen to Hamilton, get ready.
What made you decide that?
To not sleep or to listen to it?
To listen to it.
Because I remember you saying,
yeah.
I sort of struggled to get some of the lyrics when I was listening the first time. So I was like, I'll give it a listen just so I can, like, you know, I know everyone's heard My Shot and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I should probably know some of the others. And then just powered through the entire thing.
That's because when I went to see it, the first time, the only songs I'd heard before was the first song, and Battle of Yorktown. So I hadn't heard My Shot or anything else. And
I think I'd heard My Shot before and maybe Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue is when you're trying to take in like the music, but also you've got everything that's going on stage as well.
Yeah,
like I didn't really get kind of into it the first time until probably about Helpless.
Yeah, well, that's my current favourite song from the soundtrack.
Yeah, but there was just so much going on. It wasn't until Wait For It where I was kind of like, my brain just clicked and went, don't think of this as like a stage show. It's more just like a greatest hits album where every single song is amazing and they're just performing these amazing songs. Because I wasn't picking up enough of the lyrics to like piece the story together.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, because that's the thing that I found weird was I've not seen the show. I've only listened to the soundtrack, but I think I can probably... Well, I can tell you exactly what the story of Hamilton is.
Yeah.
Because the songs do such a good job of telling the story.
Yeah, but trying to like... Yeah, the mistake I made was definitely not listening until I first saw it because it was just way too much to take in.
Fair enough.
Seeing it again was so much better because, one, I was so familiar with like the cast recording that's on Spotify that I could notice when the British cast like tweaked things, they did things slightly different, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and two, I could just like really appreciate like the performances and it was you've done the right thing. It's just good luck.
I did it too early.
Yeah. But I think once you've seen it, we need to book tickets to go see it again because I want to see Good Bear again.
Yeah, and you also want to experience me crying for however long Hamilton is.
Yeah, and aren't we going to also just like sing it at each other relentlessly, no doubt? Not now.
Oh, probably.
Not on the podcast, but...
No, but I imagine the next time I see you will just be me and you, possibly Kat if she wants to join in, singing a variety of Hamilton songs.
Kat loves it, right? But when we sing it together, I kind of have to prompt her. So I have to like start her off and then I let her finish off the lyric.
God, I imagine that annoys the shit out of her.
Oh, it does. Several times she's been like, I'm done with this now. Sometimes she's well up for it. Most of the time, she's like, she'll humour me for like 2 or 3 lines and then she'll be like, that's enough. Christmas. How did you spend your Christmas Eve? Because I told you how I spent mine.
Christmas Eve, I did the traditional, what my group do, which is Christmas Eve, we all go out to a pub we used to go to when we were 18. We used to, basically, when I was in high school and we'd all turned 18, we had a thing called Pub Mondays, where we went to a shitty pub called the Moon on the Hill, which is in a place called Sutton.
Which is where you live? Or near where you live?
It was near where I used to live, and it's now half an hour, 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. So now the tradition, that stopped, obviously, because we've all moved away and got jobs and shit.
Go to
but now the tradition is... Yeah, we do. There's literally one, 5 shops away from that pub, which is a billion times better and we all love. But the tradition is that we go to the Moon on the Hill on Christmas Eve.
Okay, fair enough.
So we all went down there. Or, well, a bunch of us went down there.
That must be nice. Like, so I imagine there's people that you probably haven't seen like a lot throughout the year. So
you do see, yeah. I mean, to be fair, most of the ones there were the normal lot. Yeah. There were a couple that had travelled down because they were spending Christmas with their parents or whatever. Exactly. And you see them and you're like, oh, awesome, you've come back for a visit.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, like, this is a tradition and it happens every year. I've been at the Moon on the Hill every Christmas Eve for the past like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
We were all trying to arrange it. Somehow I got that job. Don't know how. I'm bad at arranging stuff.
That's a terrible decision.
Someone just messaged me and went, "I hear you're organising this," and I went, "Well, that's a fucking mistake."
Did it go as well as that time you organised a uni get together?
Well, I've tried that a couple of times now. Whatever. But so one of my mates was like, "Oh, do we still do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do it every year." And he was like, "I don't think anyone really does it anymore." And I was like, "No, you don't do it anymore. We all do.
It's still going. Yeah.
I know you all every year he doesn't go." And I was like, "Well, yeah, mate. We're all still going.
Yeah.
Just because you don't go, the tradition is happening."
It's not like, oh, that person's not going. Let's call it off. It's not worth it.
No. There's like it's not the whole group. It's definitely like therapy, and understandably, it's like the next day is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Like obviously, most people aren't going to want to be there.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's a good little. You see your friends before Christmas, because then you get the run of days where you're like doing family stuff.
Yeah. Although then you get that weird like twilight time between like Christmas and New Year, which is what we made the most of this year. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's that little gap in between where things happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a couple of days where and that's what I did for actual Christmas was family stuff on Christmas Day and family stuff on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I was the same to be honest. Ian goes to his parents. He went Christmas morning. It was just me and Mum. Christmas dinner was turkey and lamb because I love lamb, and you've got to have turkey. It was delicious.
The idea of having more roast meat on Christmas is just
amazing.
Vile.
I put a picture on Twitter of what my Christmas dinner looked like. It was ridiculous. Oh, what I didn't talk about, between my birthday and Christmas, on the 22nd of December, me and Kat have like a little mini Christmas. Because then on the 23rd, we
do
go
your own
off.
things.
Yeah. So I had a Christmas dinner then as well, but I also had an obscene amount of food, but just turkey this time because Kat doesn't love me as much as my mum loves me, so she refuses to make lamb for me as well.
I don't think anyone loves you as much as your mum loves you.
Yeah, I think that's caused problems.
Yeah. Yes, it has, Liam. This is why you're the way you are.
Yeah. But we watched... So we each chose a Christmas movie to watch, right? I chose
What did you pick?
This horror film called Better Watch Out, which...
Of course you
not
did.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 Better Watch Out, just Better Watch Out.
Just Better Watch Out.
Which, if we ever get through all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, I'm probably going to recommend at some point in the future, because
Okay.
it was good. It was much better than I was expecting it to be. And then Kat, right, this is how well I've trained Kat. She chose Die Hard as her film.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect.
I don't even know if you trained Kat to do that, did you? I'm sure... Wasn't Kat in the group that... Like, at uni, there was a group that always talked about Die Hard, and I know you were one of the ringleaders of said group.
Yeah, I don't know if
I was
she'd
always on
seen
board
it
with them.
before dated me or not.
Oh, maybe
I honestly
not.
can't remember. I know Back to the
Fair
Future
enough.
she hadn't, which we had to fix that.
Mind blown.
But yeah, she got to see Back to the Future for the first time in the cinema because they did like a 25th
Oh, yeah.
anniversary re-release. So
I think I remember you two going to that.
yeah, it was good. We went with Mark, who's been on the show before a while back. We need to get him back on this year.
I know. I know, Mark.
Yeah. So yeah, did that, and then Kat went to bed, and I
Masturbated.
watched Home Alone 4.
Two different things we suggested there.
Yeah, I watched all 5 Home Alone films this Christmas period, and let me tell you, the first 2 were a good idea. 3, 4, and 5, not.
When does Macaulay drop out? Is that after 2?
2? Yeah,
Yeah, just they don't count as Home Alone films. Don't watch them.
it's called Home Alone 3 though. So had
But they're not. They're like it's like how a script will just get picked up and put like the Cloverfield franchise that I love.
So here's the thing with Home Alone 3, and I'm gonna just go through these very quickly.
Oh, God,
It
yeah,
has such an
you're trying to
audacious
sneak in
opening.
reviews here.
Right, so it's this 90s family movie, but it
Yeah.
opens with these international North Korean assassin criminals.
Right.
That's how it opens.
Why?
Oh, they've stolen this like computer chip, obviously, which they've hidden in a remote control car, which ends up in this kid. I think his name is Alex. So it's not even, they're not even pretending that it's like
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin's character.
it's not recasting Kevin.
Yeah, no, it's a completely different kid with a completely different family. And then it's these international criminals trying to get this remote control car off of him. And so here's the thing, right? Not only does he outsmart these international criminals, he also does it while he's home alone, ill, because he's got like chickenpox or something. So some would
don't wanna
argue
watch it.
he's better than Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin
Is he?
McAllister. Oh, I don't think so, but I'm just
No.
saying some might argue. And then Home Alone 4 sees a different kid recast as Kevin McAllister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely abysmal. Just atrocious. And then Home Alone 5 is, again, a different kid. I don't think they're pretending he's Kevin in this one. He's got a different name. He thinks his house is haunted. It's not. It's being burgled.
What?
It's got
Okay.
right. Do you know who Malcolm McDowell is?
I recognise the name.
He was in A Clockwork Orange, and he's been in like loads of stuff since.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it for some reason.
Of
I
course.
couldn't tell you why.
No. Very weird.
Honestly, atrocious films. But yeah, Christmas, pretty standard.
Do you want to tell us anything about Christmas?
It was just a good time.
Yeah. What did you get anything good?
I did, yeah, did you?
Yeah, I got some decent stuff. Yeah. I got a jacket. Some new shoes.
Yeah, I got a jacket. I didn't get shoes, because apparently I'm notoriously hard to buy for shoes.
Oh, fair enough. Well, my parents know what to get me.
What shoes did you get?
Low cut Converse, mate.
Have they got a design on them?
It used to be nerdy Converse. Now it's just get me. Well, this year they just went get us in pink Converse, and I went, yep, that's exactly what I want.
Fair enough.
So that's good. Yeah, nice leather jacket that I wore on New Year's Eve. That's nice. Other bits and bobs, nothing. All good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that I asked for and needed. What did you get?
I got hang on, let me show you, and I want to see if you can figure this out. Can you see that?
That says the home file.
Yeah. It's a big old box for putting all my important documents and stuff in.
Who got you that?
My mum. For my birthday. Because I've got just a general like plastic folder which has things like health insurance, like
Yeah, like
contract for
important
the
stuff.
house, bills, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But the plastic folder's getting a bit tatty and worn because there's
So
too
she
many
bought you
documents
It's a big.
in it.
It's a big file. It's a big file
There's a
container that Liam's got there. He could
It's-
fit a lot of important documents in that.
there's even room for extra. What
Yeah.
are they called?
I can't remember what you call them. Sleeves?
Sort of like sleeve, like dividers.
Yeah, that's it. Dividers. Yeah.
Dividers. So
Oh, fair enough. That's useful. That's a good present.
yeah,
Cool.
that's for my birthday.
Nice that your mum got you that.
Yeah, and I got a
What did Kat get you?
nice hoodie for my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Kat got me like Funko and
Nice.
like a little figure of Chucky, and
Oh,
it comes
okay.
with like a load of accessories and stuff.
So you can dress him up.
Or you can like change his weapons.
That's the equivalent of dressing up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
So okay. So I was wrong earlier, listeners, when I said that Liam was going to prove that he was a spoiled kid. That's all he got. That's everything he got.
Well, mostly everything.
Oh.
The listeners don't need to know. So after Christmas,
Oh, sorry. It sounded like you almost wanted to say something there, Liam. But you didn't.
I think
What?
it would be after Christmas next.
Yeah, you don't want to. No sort of. I don't know. Mum didn't get you. Just off the top of my head, something like a full surround system for your cinema room.
5.1
Surround sound system. Sorry, I didn't say the full name.
Okay, to be fair, yeah, she got me like the 5.1 speakers, but the amp that they all plug into is a hand-me-down from Ian because he's upgraded his cinema room and he didn't.
Oh, okay.
want it
So she
anymore,
only bought you a full set of speakers, not the amp.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
So but no, yeah, that was like all I got for Christmas. Understandably.
I'm just being a dick. That's not even that bad. That's all.
It was pretty cool, to be honest. It was the sort of thing, right? So here's the thing. Last year, I saved up really hard to be able to afford a surround sound system, and then I got hit with a $4,000 tax bill.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been more than that actually, but whatever.
It was quite a lot.
Yeah, I paid off half of it, and then forgot
Oh,
that I
Liam.
had the other half to pay off, and I saved up a load of money again, and was like, oh, I've got enough money that like after Christmas I can go out and get a new surround sound speakers. And I had literally the exact amount of money that I needed for it. And then I realised that I'd only paid half of that tax bill, so I still had $2,000 left of it to pay. I'm like, oh, all that money that I've saved up has to go on that now.
Yeah.
So it was a very nice present because it was like I was just annoyed that 2 years in a row I'd saved for it, and then was like, oh, not getting this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Adulthood.
my cinema room is nearly finished.
It's nice. I like your cinema room.
I need to get a rug for it.
Your feet get cold.
Yeah, and we've got a new sofa that's coming because we've got one previously, but it wasn't good enough, so I got rid of it, getting a new one. Well, we got one online, and then it arrived, and the back was like really short, so you couldn't like lean back in it, so you had to sit really up and straight, and then it just hurt my back after like half an hour.
Yeah.
So we get a new sofa, and I want to get a couple more bookcases to put in the back, so I have more room for more films,
Fair enough.
which goes completely against one of my New Year goals.
Yeah, weird that.
Yeah. So after Christmas, before New Year, we spent some time together.
We did. We started a mini project, sort of. It's part of Nerd on Nerd.
It was just going to be like a YouTube exclusive, but now I don't think it is.
No, now it's going to be a bonus episode on the podcast stream at some point.
Yes.
Which I think works better.
Yeah, it's fine. Do you want to explain what the idea is? Because we've discussed it
basically,
previously.
We have. I think it's our marathon movie idea where we're going to pick a series, a minimum of 5 films.
Yeah.
We're then going to just marathon through it, and in between each film, we're not reviewing the film. We talk about the film and what we thought of it.
review the film, but more our experience of how we're losing our mind doing it. Yeah, because
it's reviewing the film in the context of we've just watched like 8 hours of films.
Yeah.
How does the 5th film hold up when you get to this point? And the answer, it turns out...
Yeah, the first series we chose was Paranormal Activity.
Liam's choice.
I mean, I thought this is a great way to get 5 films off my list before the end of the year.
It was a desperate attempt.
It wasn't enough, but
no,
it was a good try.
We'll get to it, Liam.
Yep. So we made a mistake.
We started at 3 p.m.
4 p.m.
Oh, 4, sorry.
Yeah. And when you've got 5 films to go through...
Yeah.
And really, you got to factor in like 2 hours for each film, because even though they were only 90 minutes, we had to have half an hour of recording our thoughts on it, and yeah. So we were up very late.
We were up very late. I had stuff to do the next day. This was literally the day before New Year's, so it was like I was like, I have to go home at some point and get ready for New Year's.
Yeah, I mean, we both had another late night the next day because it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we made some mistakes, basically, but we figured out how to improve it going forward.
Yeah, we're just going to start earlier.
Yeah, you're going to come down the night before we were going to start, so we can get up and start straight away.
Yeah, and to be fair, usually I come and visit you for like a weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas this was very much like, I'm down for a day, staying the night, and then just getting up and going.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you'll have to listen to the bonus episode whenever that's ready to find out.
Yeah, it will come out at some point. We're going to try and tie it in with a culture swap we're doing, so it should be soon. I reckon it will be not the next episode, maybe the one after. It will come out just before then. Is that right? Or the one after that?
One after that.
Okay, one after
that. If everything goes to plan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Listeners, we have plans this year.
Yeah, this year's planned up to 3 episodes ahead.
Which for us is impressive.
Fucking impressive. You should all be cheering us, really.
New Year. How was your New Year?
It was good. Went to a mate's house. Had a good old time. We literally... So, my New Year's, we turned up. I came with... What did I was drinking a bottle of rum. And Coke, obviously. So I got there. We were all chatting, doing the usual New Year stuff. And then me, Dan Palmer, Becky, and
Who's
Robin.
Becky?
One of my friend Ed's wife.
Did I meet her? Was she there?
They might have been on their honeymoon.
Okay.
So, or did Ed come? Oh, maybe. I can't remember if they were at the other party or not. But anyway... So there were 4 of us. We didn't separate ourselves from the main group, but we got control of YouTube. Oh, and Sam, who's been on the podcast before. We got control of the YouTube that was playing on the TV.
Yeah. And
created a New Year's Eve playlist that everyone had to listen to till 1 a.m.
What sort of stuff would be?
To be fair, it was a lot of good stuff. We were throwing in, just tons
Robbie
of
Williams,
classic
Millennium.
I don't know if it was Millennium, but there was definitely Robbie Williams. I think Angels, possibly.
Oh, okay.
A lot of sing-along, like, Westlife.
Rock DJ?
It wasn't just all Robbie Williams. You're listing a lot of Robbie Williams songs.
Okay.
There was a bit of Ironic on there.
Yeah.
Zombie came up by the Cranberries.
Yeah. So I know music.
You do. But yeah, we literally, at one point, the rest of the group were like, we're playing Ring of Fire, let's get drunk. Okay. And all 5 of us who were sitting there went, no. And they were like, sorry, no, everyone's playing. And we went, no, we're singing along with the TV. And we literally just spent the rest of New Year's. Literally, it got to the point where we had to cut stuff off the playlist because we were like, this has to end before midnight.
Yeah,
so we just cut songs.
Did you do Old Lang Syne?
I very loudly sang Old Lang Syne.
Do you actually know the words to
it? No, I sing Old Lang Syne, that bit, and then I sort of make some noises to the tune of Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
We also, there was because my group, we've got a few like musical people who play instruments.
Yeah.
They then tried to play a couple of songs, which me and Sam spent the rest of the night ruining by singing 500 Miles over the top of them very loudly.
Oh, you must be the worst at a party.
No, we found it hilarious.
Yeah, but I imagine the people that were also trying to have fun by playing their musical instruments probably did not find it so hilarious.
No, I don't think they did, but
No.
it was very funny.
I mean, just for the audience that are listening here, Ellie is currently just giggling to herself at the thought of ruining these other people's New Year's Eve celebrations.
They're all my friends, so they weren't. It wasn't ruined.
Well,
and then Sam went home with Palmer and Rowden and Jess, so then I couldn't. I was like, I won't ruin your songs anymore by myself. They live together. Not you.
That's not the way it sounded.
Liam pulled a face as if to say, "Ooh, what an exciting night."
Yeah, that's an exciting night for Jess.
Jesus. Yeah, it was very good. I had a really good time.
Good.
And then I then about 2 a.m. I think, or was it just after 1? Whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go home because I want to get some sleep. I've been up very late the night before.
Yeah.
And then I half walked home because Ubers were so expensive, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And then about halfway home, Uber prices were dropping. I was like, oh, I've clearly like got out of the rush.
Yeah.
Because they do their like surge charge or whatever.
I live in like places that don't really have Uber, so
okay. Well, basically, Uber like detects when lots of people are ordering Uber, and the price increases by a multiplicate. Like it will say like this is a 1.8 charge. So it's timesing it by 1.8, and like New Year's Eve, everyone's Ubering, so it was going up to like 2.5. It was like 30 quid for a 20-minute journey.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not paying that. So then
what
it
if you
dropped
just
to
use
about
like
12.
a traditional taxi?
On New Year's, have you ever tried to book a cab on New Year's?
No.
It's impossible.
Okay.
You have to basically pre-order a cab that
yeah.
morning, being like, I need you to pay. And even then they'll be like, no.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like it dropped to like 12 quid, and I was like, I'm willing to pay that to get home and not have to walk.
Yeah.
So I booked it, and I was watching. You can see on the map. I don't know if you know this, Liam.
Yeah. I've used it before. I just don't tend to get them in my area.
Wow.
I used it in America.
A horse-drawn carriage turns up.
Yeah.
A farmer just goes, I'll take you back to your house.
I live in the city.
But so this guy, I see on the map, I can see where he's, because it says, he's dropping someone off.
Yeah.
And I could see that he was dropping them off in the road I was in.
Yeah.
And then picking me up. And what that guy did is he fucking cancelled my trip after I waited for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He cancelled. And I was like, I wonder what, like, I was like, oh, why did he cancel? I saw him drive past me because I was like, well, he's going to have to drive past me and I'm going to fucking glare at him because I know he's dropping her off near me. So then I glared at him as he went past. And then I looked at the Uber app and the prices had gone up again. And I was like, that cheeky son of a bitch cancelled me so that he could get the higher charge, which I totally get. But then the next guy that actually picked me up and was really sweet and really nice, and I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, people try and do like the opposite effectively, where they'll ask how long the Uber's going to be so they can cancel and get a cheaper deal. So he was like, oh, it's really shit when people do that. And I was sitting there, and I was like, it is, and that is 100% what that Uber driver did to me. So like both sides are doing it. But he was very nice. I gave him a tip. He wasn't a dick like the first one. That was my New Year's, Liam.
Okay. What
did you do? It was your mum's birthday.
Yeah, so January 1st was my mum's birthday. Here's the problem with New Year's Eve. Kat was sick. So...
okay, she was sick. Because what is the current thing is what? Kat gets too drunk on New Year's and then can't go to the birthday meal.
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah. So, do you remember how literally the night before when you were down, me and Kat ordered Indian food and you ordered pizza?
Yeah.
Do you remember Kat wasn't feeling too good that night either after eating Indian food and went to bed early? Yeah, it turns out she thinks her lamb wasn't cooked properly. So she was sick
I'm not laughing at you, Kat. I'm just laughing because Liam was very insistent on having Indian.
The thing is, we've ordered from
You
there
could almost
before,
blame
and
him.
now we're not ordering from there again.
No, that's fair.
And it's a shame. The food is nice, and mine was nice, but even I would not want to risk it if they can't even cook lamb correctly.
No.
So yeah, it was a shame. Like I had to essentially leave Kat here by herself on New Year's Eve, which I felt bad about. But equally, it was my mum's birthday,
Correctly.
and equally, I didn't want to spend.
Really
I didn't want to spend New Year's Eve just sat here.
Wow, you abandoned your girlfriend to spend New Year's Eve with your mum.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Such a little mama's boy.
Well, she did give me a surround sound system, so she earned my company on New Year's Eve, or she bought it. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went there, and it was just like the thing is, without Kat being there, it wasn't as good because what my mum likes to do is go to her local pub that always has like a thing on. This
isn't it. They always have a guy playing.
No,
is it Elvis songs?
They've had Elvis.
Or was that just one?
Just one time they had Elvis before.
Okay.
Last year, I can't remember who it was. Tina Turner, I think it was last year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This year it was Blondie.
Oh, okay, but Heart of Glass is a good song.
I didn't realise how many Blondie songs I knew just from films and stuff.
Yeah.
The woman that did Blondie honestly wasn't great.
Yeah.
Bit pitchy, very warbly. I know, I'm like Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
But they normally finish by like 10:30, and then just a normal DJ comes on.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
So we tend to get there for about 10 anyway. So we only have
so you're just seeing the end of the set.
Yeah. The issue is it all finished at like 1, which I thought was quite early on New Year's Eve.
That does feel. I mean, that is quite early. Like, I can see why, but you'd think if you were like a pub and people were going there for New Year's, you'd open late.
Yeah, first you'd put drink prices up a little bit because it's New Year's Eve, obviously. Or what they did is they charged you tickets, right?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you think just stay open till 2 because people are obviously going to be buying drinks. Yeah. You're going to be making. I don't know. It seemed odd to me to be shut at 1. Whatever.
I think that is a bit. That is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was alright, but it was like me, Mum, Ian, and then some of their friends, and I was just like, normally I have Kat there, and we just chat about like our fun stuff.
I thought you were about to say naughty stuff, and I was so confused.
No, like our fun stuff, like
yeah.
Not naughty stuff, but like films and stuff. And the adults talk about like adult things like bills and taxes and the government. So yeah, I was a bit lost really, but then Kat was better for my mum's birthday lunch. So she drove over. She actually managed to have lunch, which was
that's nice.
Yeah, a nice change. But next year, or technically this year, I guess.
Yep, this year.
My mum's planning on doing a house party.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Because Kat has kind of got sick of going to this pub. Ian had a really bad time because he feels like he got left with a guy that doesn't drink. And he really struggled, while me, my mum, and my mum's friends just went and danced on the dance floor.
I love that. I love that you're part of that group as opposed to Ian. Like, not that Ian got left out. The fact that you didn't go with Ian. Like, usually that's the sort of stereotypical thing, wouldn't it? It's you'd go and be with Ian, being like, oh, women are dancing, but you're just like, me, my mum, and her friends went and partied on the dance floor.
Yeah, I love a good dance.
I know you do, bud.
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to choose that option. But yeah, so house party next year, I don't know. It could be interesting. It's been a long time since my mum threw a house party. Like, we used to do it in our old house when I was like a teenager growing up.
Yeah.
So we're talking a while back now. But, you know, we'll see. I'll keep you posted for our next New Year special.
Cheers, bud.
The only other thing for catching up with is I have an eye update.
Yes.
So people who are following the chronicles of Liam potentially going blind, got my genetic results back from the hospital. Turns out the gene that's gone wrong in me is something that can lead to this thing called Usher's syndrome, which is the leading cause of deafness and blindness in people. But I've got this like 2A version of it, which apparently like it affects your hearing from birth. So my hearing now is like either previously affected, or you can get this version of it that doesn't really affect hearing. Now, as a kid growing up, I did have to used to go for like hearing tests and stuff, and at one point was recommended a hearing aid, but I kind of just, it's not bad enough that I kind of need that.
Yeah. So you've got whatever your bad ears are currently. You're at the worst level of it.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
thing.
not progressive, so it shouldn't get worse. With the eyes, typically with this version, it will lead to blind spots in the peripheral vision, which I've already got. Kat was reading there's like some Facebook group for people that suffer with this sort of thing. Someone described what they have as basically what I have, which is like donut vision, which I thought was a nice way of describing it, where you have these like blind spots that are like these two rings, but then you can see sort of on the peripheral and then in the middle of them.
Got you.
So I currently have like quite thin versions of that, which over time could potentially probably will grow, but typically with this it won't lead to full blindness. So
you just have sort of visual impairment.
Essentially tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Which could lead to getting bad enough to be classified as legally blind.
But you wouldn't be fully blind.
Yeah.
Which is the thing you were most worried about.
Exactly. I should still be able to.
It's still not great.
It's still
But
not great.
it's better than we were worried it would be, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so the FDA, which I think is some like drug thing in America.
Yeah, the Federal Drugs and No, is it? No, I don't know what they are.
No, I don't know. But
Yeah, is it Federal Drugs and Alcohol? They like monitor like all that stuff and make it.
possibly. I don't
They
know.
regulate all that stuff. Whatever. Yeah, it's not important.
They've fast-tracked a clinical trial for a potential cure for this like type 2 of Usher syndrome, which I have. Now, I don't know how complex this like thing is, so it could be like Usher type 2 is just a very umbrella term, and then there's lots of different mutations of it. So I don't know if this clinical trial will necessarily apply to me, but I think it's quite positive news that one, they fast-tracked it, and two, they're actually working on it, because in my mind, if they can fix one version of it, they'll probably be able to replicate that for other mutations within that branch.
And if not, robot eyes.
I mean, I watched Ghost in the Shell, and I have to admit, like, the dude that got the robot eyes in that, I was like, that's not terrible. But
No,
equally,
he's got pretty cool robot eyes.
I would be happy to not have robot eyes and just
Yeah,
have...
that's fair.
The thing that they currently work on is just injections. You get like one injection that, in theory, will last you for life and will
Bit boring.
fix the problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So that is good news.
Yeah, basically, still shitty that I have it, and
Not as shitty.
yeah, vision is still declining, but I kind of feel like there's like hope at the end of it potentially.
Yeah.
And that like, hopefully now we're looking at a case of years for a fix instead of like maybe in my lifetime there'll be a fix.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and that's good news.
Yeah, it is.
And that's probably better news than last year's New Year's
Yes.
episode where it was like, so
Liam might go blind.
yeah, that hopefully won't happen now. Fingers crossed. You never know. Someone could like acid attack me or something.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that could happen to anyone.
Yeah. That's not a use. Although, with the way you are, I feel like you've got at least like a couple of percentage points higher than me chance of getting acid attacked.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. It's part of the risks of living.
Hey,
in the
listen,
city.
if we've got any like crazy fanatical listeners out there, don't do it.
No. Leave us a good review on iTunes. Do that.
Yeah.
But just
This
draw
is a
the
funny.
line
This
there,
is a funny
really.
joke. The acid attack thing's a funny joke.
I mean, it's
Don't
not
attack
that
Liam with
funny.
acid. Don't attack me with acid.
It's not really a funny
Just
joke.
don't attack anyone with acid.
The acid attack thing isn't a funny joke. It's a damning critique on the fact that our society is currently in a position where this is a very real threat.
Let's review our favourite things from 2018.
So this is the part of the show that every year
Yeah.
everyone looks forward to, I think. By everyone, I mean our regular
Probably Amanda.
listeners, Amanda and Tom. And in all
I don't know if
honesty,
Tom looks forward to it. I think
No.
Tom likes the episodes, but I don't know if he's ever been like, oh yeah, I fucking love the year in review.
I think it's his favourite bit.
We'll see.
From what I know of Tom, I would not be surprised.
No, that's fair.
Alright, so we kick off our favourite moments, our favourite things of 2018 with our favourite moments from the podcast, because we're that self-indulgent.
I feel like this was originally Liam's idea. In fact, I know for a fact it was originally Liam's idea. It's a very Liam thing.
My favourite podcast moment.
No, what? You start with your fifth favourite and then you work up to your favourite. You don't start with the best thing and then work down. You're having to reorder your entire list.
My fifth favourite moment on the podcast of 2018 was a very recent one, actually.
Yeah.
Last episode, when you... Actually, no, before that, when you got me to choose between the 3 different Christmas eroticas that we would end up reading.
Yeah, I think it was a nice gift to you. I let you pick.
Yeah. And
it was also a nice gift to you because you got to read some porno.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, you know, it was interesting and inspiring.
Blood Streaks wasn't great.
No, that was a particular low light. But I've written 6,000 words of my own now, which just needs to be shaped, shall we say.
Yeah, you got to trim it down a little bit.
It was inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. You know, it's got you to do something creative.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for you to see it when it's finished, but it's going to take
I'm
me
excited.
a while to finish it because I've got this idea in mind and I've gone, well, we'll see.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not good.
Fucking hell.
What was your 5th favourite moment of the podcast?
My 5th favourite moment, Liam, was when you came face to face with something I've longed for you to have to do for years, which was you were confronted with the fact that you aren't perfect. And that was when Liam got us to watch Feast and then had to read his own review of Feast, where he was very much a fan.
Oh, I thought it was going to be when I found out I was going blind.
No!
I was going to say,
I do realise
that was really
it
mean.
did sound a little bit like I was leading up to that, and that's not what I was doing. I was talking about Feast.
Yeah, Feast was when I kind of realised that young Liam maybe wasn't the best Liam.
No, because we hate that film, and young Liam was a fan.
I don't think I was necessarily a fan, but I thought it was all right at least.
Someone will find that sound snippet. I'm pretty positive he said he just bloody loved it.
We watched all three of them, didn't we, in the end?
Yeah, we fucking did.
Yeah. I mean, you have to admit, the third one has a bold ending.
That ends with the robots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, I don't care. It's Feast. If any of you are upset that I spoiled Feast,
It's
fuck off.
Feast 3, The Happy Finish, I believe.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was my favourite moment. Number 4 for you, Liam?
Number 4 for me was my first High School Musical book that you kindly got me for my birthday.
How is that a favourite moment?
Just entering this world of High School Musical fiction. So here's the thing, right? I've got a review coming of book 3, not on this episode, but on a future episode.
Okay.
And we wouldn't have got to that without book 1.
That's true. I do love how long it is taking you to read these books, because they are abysmal.
They are, however, it's also because I've been trying to put like proper books in between each one. And the last
so that your
proper
IQ doesn't drop. As a High School Musical book slowly lowers your IQ, you then read a good book to just bring it back up a little bit.
Exactly, but the last book I read was not a good one, and it took me a long time to read. Well,
yes.
I started reading it when I got back from Croatia, which was that the start of September or the end of September? Sometime in September.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't like as long as it took you to do American Psycho, but...
No, but it was still a long time.
Like a quarter of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I didn't necessarily enjoy the book, but I enjoyed reviewing the book.
Well, fair enough. That's good, I think. My number 4, Liam.
Yeah.
I've just written here, guests. And I'll be honest, listeners, I think I'm pandering. I think I'm just sort of putting that in for the guests.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite low down, though, so I don't think... If
Well,
you
yeah,
are
it's
a
not
guest,
my favourite moment. I liked having the guests on.
Which guests did we have on?
Sam, Jason and Lee, I believe.
Yeah,
we
had
had any others this year?
a very light year for guests.
We did bad this year with guests.
We
There
don't-
might have been... Did we have any specials this year with guests on?
We had a
No,
couple of specials,
jeez.
but we also did really bad for specials this year too.
We did do bad with specials.
I think we did a Black Panther one, an Infinity War one, and did we do a Thor Ragnarok one in the end?
Oh, I don't think we did.
I know you said in your review of Thor Ragnarok, so I've just edited
that
that
we
for
would.
YouTube, that we definitely would.
We will. I think that's the running gag, is I keep saying we're going to do that special at some point.
No, I think what we do is we get to a point where...
Liam just pulled this, like, almost... I don't know, he honestly looked like he might throw up at the idea that he's about to say.
For some reason, in the last 24 hours, we had 91 listens.
I saw that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, we did Avengers Infinity War special. Anyway, yeah, at some point we might get to a point where... Yeah, Black Panther, no Thor Ragnarok. Where we do the Marvel movies as one of our like back-to-back film series.
Oh, that's true. That would be so long. Anyway, this is beside the point. I liked having the guests on. Having guests on is always fun. We need to have more guests on.
And that's the plan for this year.
Yeah.
And I want to try and get some new guests on as well, which we're in the process of discussing.
Yeah.
I've shortlisted a few people. You haven't. But you now need to vet the people that I've shortlisted to make sure that they're not like transphobic.
Good.
What
was your third favourite moment from the podcast, Liam?
Finally, we've been building up to it for literally years. Finally getting you to watch and then discuss Barefoot Gen. An anime movie has made my list of top 5 moments of the year. Sit on that.
Well, we knew that because it's your favourite anime movie of all time. And your only anime movie that you like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was
I'm
great,
not
though.
surprised.
I really enjoyed discussing it. I think
I think that was that was a good discussion we had.
we had some good, like, heavy-going
more
discussions.
Yeah,
We had a little one of them, didn't we, at one point?
There was a little bit of a...
Did we do
little thing
Barefoot
going on.
Gen, and then... Was that the same time we did, like, Her Story?
Yeah, I think it was around the same time, yeah.
But yeah,
Look at us.
I'm pleased that you finally got to see the movie that I consider the best anime film that I've seen.
And I'm glad I saw it because it's a good film.
And now you know what has to be topped for me when it comes to anime, so good luck.
Yeah, but I've already done that, but you refuse to accept it.
Your Name is not better.
Well, it's my favourite movie of all time.
Well, what's your third now, isn't it?
My third favourite thing, Liam, third favourite moment, was the Blu-ray saga that we had from you. Your ongoing struggles to get your Blu-ray player fixed.
Yeah.
That was a highlight for me. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the running. It was like a saga, like
It really
an ancient
was.
Viking saga.
Yeah. It spanned multiple episodes.
Yeah, it was Liam's Blu-ray player broke, and he's just constantly had it sent back, and it wasn't fixed, and he had to go and try and get it fixed.
4 months, I think, in total before I finally got a refund for it.
It was insane.
My new Blu-ray player that I've had since currently works like a dream.
I'm so glad.
It's a multi-region one though, and they typically have a lifespan of 1 to 2 years, and then they just fuck up.
Oh, good.
So we'll cross that bridge. My second favourite moment, I put the guests much higher as my second favourite when we had Jason and Leon, and we had Sam on to talk about wrestling. It's always a good time when we have guests on. It's nice to have some reprieve from your nonsense. But not only that, when we guested on the Too Fast Too Forever podcast, is that what it's called? I think it is.
Yeah. That was a good moment. I guess it's not a moment of the podcast, but that would be up there if it was.
I tie it into the podcast because we wouldn't have done that if it weren't for Nerd on Nerd.
Yeah, fair.
So,
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
My number 2, Liam, was I don't have to read American Psycho anymore. That's all. I don't need to talk more about it.
A solid year, didn't it?
Yes,
a
I hated
solid year
it.
to read that book. It was amazing.
Killed my reading.
Yeah, because I don't know if long-term listeners might remember this. Newcomers won't, obviously. Ellie liked her sci-fi and fantasy books, and we were getting like 3 or 4 reviews from like a fantasy series or something in one episode.
Yeah.
And it was doing my nut in, and I hated it. And then Ellie, for some reason, agreed to read books that I recommended, and I lulled her into this false sense of security by recommending this like Scott Sigler book.
Well, you started with Fluke, and that was
no. Scott Sigler was first, I think.
No. Fluke was definitely the first one, and then I was annoyed that you recommended me Fluke, and then you gave me Scott Sigler, and were like, "Oh, well, look, here's one that you'll like," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I do like that." And then you gave me American Psycho, which you hadn't read since you were like
a teenager. The thing, not only that though, but other people had said, other listeners had written in and said, "Oh, we really want to hear your thoughts on this."
Well, they've had them now. I can't remember what episode I reviewed.
I think the people that were waiting for that gave up and stopped listening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's bad. I hated American Psycho.
Yeah, it really did kill your reviews, and it's also sort of killed your book reviews going forward.
I've not been reading. I still haven't gone back to reading.
I know, which is a shame because I know there's some book series that have like continued in that year space. So
yeah, there's a bunch of books that came out that I want to read because they're parts of like series that I loved.
Yeah,
and you killed my reading.
I did. You're welcome, listeners.
I don't know why I put that as a top moment, because really it's also, whilst not having to read American Psycho is very good, the fact that it's stopped me reading more is very bad.
Yeah, it is.
You've made me sad now, Liam. What's your favourite moment?
This is also going to make you sad, though, because part of my favourite moment is making you sad. It was when I made Helly... It's not your name. When I made Ellie... it's because the next word is have, and I was reading as I was going, and I got myself all
you just combined it.
I made Ellie have a Zac Efron musical day. This was for my 30th birthday. I threw myself a little 30th birthday celebration. I had all Zac Efron themed stuff. We had themed cutlery, plates, fridge magnets. That should have been your moment when you swapped over the fridge names.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that until you just said fridge magnets.
We had bunting. High School Musical bunting. I had a Zac Efron cake.
Yep.
It was brilliant. We watched The Greatest Showman. We went to the cinema. We saw that in IMAX.
Yep.
Then we came back and we watched High School Musical 1 to 3. 1 and 3 with sing-along lyrics, 2 without because the Blu-ray is ridiculous. And then we watched Hairspray. We watched 5 Zac Efron musicals in the space of a day. Probably my favourite day of all of last year. It
didn't make me sad because Hairspray's a good film, Greatest Showman's a good film, and I like Hanakuma, Huna, Kuna, Muna, Nuna, Aqua, whatever that song's called.
I think you've watched the High School Musical trilogy twice now. There has to be more to it than one song that you like.
No, that song's very good.
Think about it.
It's a good song.
Yeah, but there's something else in it that you like.
I like Kelsey
There we go. See, so it's all worthwhile.
because I like a minor character. She seems very cool and whatever. Liam,
It's
you've
all
annoyed me.
worthwhile.
You were correct. This has annoyed me.
Yeah, it was a Zac Efron musical day. It was my favourite day. And we had Zac Efron cupcakes as well. Oh, and we played High School Musical 3 Mystery Date, don't forget.
Oh, we did. Yeah, that's a very good game.
It was brilliant. Best day
So
ever.
bad.
Honestly. I need to do something for my 31st, really, but I don't know what.
Yeah, you can't really do Zac Efron twice in a row because I won't come.
Oh, man, I wish I could, though. I could do, like, 5 non-musical Zac Efron films.
Oh yeah, I'd even less likely to come.
I could say I'm not doing Zac Efron, and then get you here, and then you'll be like, why is all the Zac Efron bunting up again?
To be fair, that would be very funny.
Yeah, and it would be too late then. You'd have already done the drive. You'd be like, I might as well stay. What's the first Zac Efron film? And I'd be like, Baywatch.
I haven't seen that. I want to see it.
It's good. And I don't think you've seen Dirty Grandpa either, have you?
No.
Which is also good.
See,
Have you seen...
there are films you can pick.
Yeah, have you seen Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates?
Nope.
Also, I think you'd enjoy that.
Fair enough.
17 Again. Have you seen that?
Nope.
That's a good one. And then just to top it all off, I'd make you watch like the Derby Stallion or something.
Yeah, I thought you were going to put that one in there.
You've got it.
My favourite moment, Liam,
Yeah, go on. Hit me
of
with
2018
it. Yeah.
was a classic. I think it's going into podcast legend. It was when Liam had a bad time at a communications workshop. You could almost say he failed to communicate.
Or I communicated too well.
Listeners, honestly, if you are a new listener, I don't even remember what episode it's on. We'd have to track it down. One day it'll be on YouTube. Ask someone, tweet us, I'll find it for you. There is an episode where Liam has a very, very awkward, just the worst experience at a communications workshop, and I loved every minute of hearing it. It makes me crack up laughing every time I hear it.
I don't know what episode it was. I was looking to see, but the episode
Yeah.
descriptions aren't particularly...
No, they're not helpful. Yeah, it's just pure podcast gold in my opinion. And it's not because I know you didn't enjoy it,
It was awful.
but it's very funny. You've got to be able to look back on it and be like, that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? When you're a podcaster, you can't really have a bad day because it makes for podcast entertainment at the end of the day. That's how I justify my pathetic existence to myself.
Oh jeez, don't make it depressing.
No day's a bad day when you've got a podcast.
True.
If we
Great.
had t-shirts, that would make a great t-shirt, wouldn't it?
God, no day's a bad day when you have a podcast. No, it's so I hate it. Let's move on. Liam's making everything depressing.
Am I?
No, you're fine.
Good.
What do you want to do next?
Video games?
Yep, let's do games.
Can I start with my honourable mention?
Oh yeah, chuck in your honourable mention here, Liam.
Tetris Effect.
To be fair, it's on my honourable mentions list as well.
Because I made you play it, didn't I?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying because it is just Tetris,
But it's also...
but I want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why.
I think you should wait until it's in a sale because 30 quid for just
Yeah.
Tetris is a bit rich. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty expensive.
yeah, when I first got it and I tweeted something like, I'm using the power of VR to play Tetris, Amanda responded to that tweet being like, this is very on brand for you. And I feel like...
Yeah, because you're like an ancient Egyptian deity trapped in a body, and so you understand technology. You can use VR,
Yeah.
but only to play things like Tetris. I get it.
Yeah. Honestly though, I've when I first played it, I didn't really like it, but it has that weird, like, obviously that like Tetris thing where you're like, but I'll keep playing it, and if I start playing it, I can guarantee that's like 3 hours of my life gone.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. It's got music.
It's
The
not always
music's
relaxing.
fine. Well, no, I imagine it gets stressful, but
Yeah, but you know,
it deserves to be on the honourable mentions. We've had fun laughing about you playing it.
yeah,
It needs to be mentioned.
yeah. So, do you want to start us off with number 5?
Yep, number 5, Liam, is a latecomer to my list.
Okay.
I got it for Christmas for myself. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
This is on the Switch.
Yep, on the Nintendo Switch. It's made me start taking my Switch to work so I can play it on the way in and the way home.
Okay.
It's addictive as shit, dude. Like, it's not like they've done anything crazy. It's Super Smash Bros. Again,
Yeah,
but
it
with
is
more
essentially
characters.
Nintendo characters beating each other up, right?
Not just Nintendo. Solid Snake's in there.
Okay.
There's a bunch. There's a couple of Cloud from Final Fantasy's in there this year.
Yeah.
Mega Man, who's not exclusively Nintendo's in there. Like they make deals with the other companies to get a couple of like cameo appearances, and it's just fun. Like it's the kind of game that if you're playing with people that are very good at Super Smash Bros, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
If you're playing it against the computers at a level that you find comfortable, it's very fun. It's a good time waster.
Are there characters to unlock?
Yes, you start with.
I like that.
You start with like 6 unlocks, and there's something like 60 characters to unlock.
Oh, that's cool. I hate like the. I get why they do it, but the fighting games where they start with everything unlocked. I'm like, well, what am I working towards?
Yeah, this one's interesting because so you've got you've got tons of game modes, but there's like 2 main ones effectively. There's the single player story mode, which is called Spirits, and that's all about you start with one character. And in that game, you go around doing these like special scenario fights where it's like you're fighting this character, but he's always giant.
Yeah,
the stage is ice, and you can only pick up this item, and so it gives you like these weird rule sets that you've got to beat. And in that mode, you unlock characters for that mode, and you don't get them outside.
Okay.
But then in the outside mode, the way you unlock characters in Super Smash Bros is just by playing the game. Like you play it, and then it will at a certain point, like when you've had enough battles or whatever, it will say challenger approaching. You have to fight them and beat them to unlock them.
Cool.
And you can also then just every time you complete the classic mode, which is 6 fights in a set order and then a boss fight.
Yeah.
Every time you complete that with a character, you unlock their next character. And like everyone has a chain they follow of unlocks.
Yeah.
And like if you've already unlocked one of them, it will just jump to the next one or pick a random one from someone else. So that's how I unlocked everyone. Was I just went, I'm going to play all the classic mode.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's a goal then.
Yeah. Yeah. I got really into it when it came out on GameCube.
Yeah.
But I haven't really got into a Nintendo console since then. Like I tried the Wii, I tried the Wii U. I just didn't really get into it.
Do you have a Switch?
No.
No.
Kat wouldn't let me buy one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Because I'd already bought a Wii and Wii U and never played them, so she was like, maybe don't get a Switch.
That's the thing. Like my Switch is so like on and off. Like
yeah,
I'll go months without playing it, but then something I actually want to play comes out like this, and I'll get really into it.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this in the past, and you disagree, and that's fine. But for me, I'd get way more into Nintendo stuff if it did have like an achievement or trophy system.
Well, Smash Bros kind of does. It's just not a console-wide thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
Silly that you need it to be console-wide, but whatever.
It just gives me like. It gives me things to work towards and that nice little
just Super Smash Bros.
Satisfaction when things unlock. I'm simple.
What's your 5th place, Liam?
I don't know if this made it onto your list in the end, but my 5th place is God of War.
It's on my list.
Okay, we did a culture swap about it, so if you want to hear my thoughts on God of War, go check out the culture swap. I still think one of the most fun things that I did this year was throw an axe and then recall it through an enemy.
Yep, that is just fun. Trip them over.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. So
makes sense. Number 4 on my list is Spyro, the Reignited trilogy.
Well, this is going to bloody shock you, Liam, but that's number 3 on my list. So
you've played more of it than I have, because I've still only played
I've completed the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm playing the third one.
I really need to go back into it, but I'm distracted by other games that we'll get to in a moment.
It's just fun. It's just a fun game.
It's fun and relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to stress. You can just put it on, do some levels, run around as a dragon, breathe some fire,
do some skateboarding.
Headbutts, do a bit of skateboarding.
Yeah.
It's great. I love Spyro. I used to love it as a kid, so it makes sense that I love it now.
Yeah, it hits that nostalgia.
Yeah.
In at number 3, I have Marvel's Spider-Man.
Only number 3.
Only number 3. It was fun. I had a couple of niggles with it. Again, I think we did we do a culture swap on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go listen to that if you want to hear my thoughts. I have brought the DLC. I just haven't got around to playing it yet. But
yeah, I haven't bought it yet because I knew I wouldn't play it yet.
It was in the sale, so I was like, I'll get it while it's in the sale.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I'm planning on getting around to it once I'm done with some other stuff like Spyro and the other games that are coming up.
Yep. My number 2, Liam.
Yep.
Monster Hunter World.
That's surprisingly high.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know if it would have made it onto the list, except I didn't realise quite how much time I'd spent playing Monster Hunter World until Sony told me in that little video.
Yeah.
And then I went, Yeah, that's a fair point, because I fucking love it. So I should... it needs to be on the list.
I keep seeing...
It's my most played game on PlayStation, apparently.
Yeah, I keep seeing on Twitter and stuff that they're releasing like this Frozen Wastes expansion.
Yeah. I need to go back to it at some point. I'm hoping, if there's enough content that's been put out since I last played it, hopefully it will just be like, you go back in and you're like, oh, there's like a whole new world of stuff to do.
Well, let me know if you are going back to it, and I'll join you, because I think I would struggle playing it by myself, but playing it together, it was all right.
Yeah.
But I liked it, but I feel like I got to a point in it where I was like, oh, I've learnt this weapon, that I know what I'm doing. Well, I'd learnt a couple of weapons. I was taking down like big old dragon things, and I was getting to a stage where what I was doing was relying on other people also knowing what they were doing, and that's just a real crapshoot. Like, you'd get into a team and like 3 out of 5 times everyone would immediately die, and then the other 2 times the team would kind of work together and know what they're doing, and you'd get through it, and it didn't become fun just rolling the dice and seeing what type of team you'd get.
No, fair. What's your number 2, Liam?
My number 2 is a game called Moss.
Yes.
Which was recommended to me by Dan Palmer, friend of the show, previous guest. It's a VR game. Yeah, I've got massively into VR in the last.
Liam's basically living in an alternate reality at this point in time.
Oh, I wish. I've got way into it. It's ridiculous, honestly. What happened is my old VR headset, where I used to live, was like just stuck next to the TV in a bunch of wires. And every time I wanted to play it, I had to plug it into my PlayStation, because my PlayStation, the first version of the VR headset, didn't allow 4K to pass through.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do like 4K gaming, I'd have to like unplug everything. It was just a faff. It was a nightmare. In the Black Friday sales, they released the second version of the headset in like a nice little deal. I brought it. I've set it up in my TV, so it's like nicely in a compartment in my TV stand. All the wires are put away. I don't have to keep unplugging it and plugging it in anymore. I want to play VR. I just grab the headset out, stick it on, and away I go. I've got way into it, like too into it.
Yeah.
I can't stop playing VR
at the moment. Liam has... Did you post it on Twitter, or did you send it to us, the photo of you after 3 hours of VR?
I sent it to you. I didn't post it on Twitter. It was not good.
That's a good decision. Liam honestly looked like someone had punched him in the face and cut up his nose, because the VR had been pressing his glasses into his face for 3 hours.
Yeah. And the indentation was real deep.
Yeah, it was very deep and very red.
Yes. It was not a good look.
No.
But yeah, so in Moss, you play as this little mouse with a sword, and it's this like... Essentially, it's a fantasy story that you're kind of going through, and it's just delightful. It's quite short. I completed it in like 3 gaming sessions of maybe like 2 to 3 hours each.
I think it was one of the like early releases for VR on PlayStation. I remember it being around.
Possibly. But it came out in 2018.
Maybe it wasn't that early release.
No, because VR was out in 2017, I believe.
Fair enough.
And this came out Feb 2018.
All right, Liam, Jesus.
It's really good though. You should play it. I think you dig it. Again, it was in the sale. Dan kept banging on about it. I thought, yeah, I tend to like what Dan digs. Sometimes he likes puzzle games a bit more than I do.
Liam's not good at puzzles.
Do you know what though? Me and Kat started playing Static together.
Oh, is that... Yeah, are you playing it together? So what, one of you's watching the TV...
Yeah,
the other one's
and she'll be like, oh, have you thought of trying this? And I'll be like, of course I have. Let's try it.
Oh, it sounds... And then that works, and you're like, oh, I must have done it slightly wrong last time.
Yeah.
But that was my idea, you're just helping.
Yeah, like Kat hates puzzles and hates VR, so she'd never actually give it a go herself. But we're quite enjoying playing that together, and I really want to try playing that Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes with her, because I've got it, and I just haven't played it yet.
Alright, you two would just fall out playing that.
Yep, can't wait. So yeah, my number 2 was Moss. It's a VR game, and it's delightful.
Fair enough. My number 1, Liam, was Marvel Spider-Man. So
again,
it just made it to number 1 on my list.
Go listen to our
because I really liked it.
Yeah, that's understandable. It was a good game.
You will notice, listeners, you will notice as well that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not on my list, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I really like it.
Yeah.
But I just don't like it quite as much as I'm liking everything else. So...
I'm surprised that Monster Hunter World was above Red Dead. Because surely, right, if you keep playing Red Dead, you're going to get those hours up.
Don't know, mate. Very weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't think the list isn't wrong. That's definitely how I feel. But I couldn't tell you why.
Okay. Have you completed Red Dead yet?
No.
And have you done any of the online stuff yet?
Yeah, I've been playing online.
Okay. That's
the thing is, part of the problem was online came out and I went, oh cool, I'll make a character and play online. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I'm either playing Arthur Morgan's story, which
Yeah.
is this dude who I didn't make,
Yeah.
or I'm playing Ellie's story online, and she likes hunting and playing dominoes.
Dominoes I get, hunting I really struggle with.
I haven't found the dominoes in online yet, and it's pissing me right off.
I honestly could not get on with that game.
No, I can see why.
Yeah.
The way I think LJ described it as, it's it's not the best game. It's the most in-depth game
Yeah.
ever. Like, it's so deep,
Yeah.
but it's not the best game ever. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think like just playing it isn't always particularly fun. Like,
Yeah,
there's fun
exactly.
moments, but getting between them isn't necessarily fun.
And it'll be beautiful, but you're like, but I'm spending 20 minutes riding somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
My number one is another VR game. Like I said, I'm crazy into it at the moment. It's Astrobot, which is very similar to Moss in like how you
It's
play
just
it.
Moss with robots.
Instead of it being a little mouse with a sword, yeah, it's basically Moss with robots. Oh no, to be fair, actually, yeah, in Moss you're collecting scrolls. In Astrobot you're saving other little robot people. But then they all dance at the end of each.
They do
level.
dance. It's very adorable.
Oh, it's so good. It's another game I can see you get in and then getting way into it at some point.
Until we get to that water level.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just dolphins swimming over your head. And barracudas.
Barracudas are spooky.
Yeah, one of them proper ate my little robot.
Oh, that's not nice.
Popped out of his hole. And that was the end of Astrobot.
What a little dickhead.
Dead. But yeah, the thing why Astrobot has topped Moss is it's just a much bigger game. I'm still playing it and I've done like many a night on it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I also like if I've missed a little robot, I've got to go back and do the level again to try and find him. So it does add up the time, but it's super fun.
Fair enough. No, that's fair.
So that's our video games.
Right.
TV next.
TV?
Yeah.
Go on, Liam. You start. Tell us your fifth.
Fear the Walking Dead season 4. I've reviewed it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, Fear the Walking Dead season 1 to 3, not that great. Season 4, the writers just went, fuck it, let's change everything, and it worked really well.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing for them to have done and for it to work. That so rarely works.
Yes, exactly. There's some disappointments to it, but within the context of the story, it all sort of makes sense, and you kind of forgive it. And just it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, fair enough.
What was your number
my
5?
fifth is Star Trek Discovery.
Did that come out on Netflix?
Yeah, it's Netflix original. Not is it original or exclusive? Whatever
Yeah.
terminology. It's not a reboot of Star Trek. It's just a new Star Trek series set very early on in the Star Trek lore, and it's surprisingly good. Like, I thought it was going to be shit, and that it would be a bit of a like, oh, why have they done this? I like it. It's really good. It's got some good stories, good characters. I'm excited for the next season.
When is the next season?
I think it's this year sometime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? I'd love to get into it, but about 4 years ago, I think, I started watching Star Trek, the original series, and I powered through the first season.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's come from a different time, right? It's like the 60s, and each episode is very standalone, has its own like beginning, middle, and end, and then events often don't really like have a knock-on effect, and I just didn't have.
And
that,
Liam's
like,
broken
I need to
and
watch this
refuses to
episode,
watch
so
anything
it took me
else.
a while to get through it. Yeah, I need to get through season 2 and 3. Then I need to do, I think, the animated series. Then I need to do some of the movies. Then Star Trek: The Next Generation, which I do actually want to do. I'm quite looking forward to doing.
Yeah,
that
because Star Trek Next Generation is amazing.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got like a nice Blu-ray box set of all 10 films. It's just issues that I
You're a
have
waster.
with my life. Do you know? I think it'd be quite fun
Go
at
on,
some
then.
point to do like a podcast where like I sit with someone and we discuss each episode as we go through it.
There's quite a few podcasts that do that.
Yeah, exactly. But that would be the sort of drive that I would need to get through it.
Yeah, fair enough.
no one will do
What's
that
your
with me.
number? No. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Riverdale. So in 2018, I believe the end of season 2 was aired and the start of season 3.
Yeah.
The end of season 2 was okay, nothing great. Start of season 3, amazing. Can I just give you like just a little summary of what season 3 is
Sure.
all about and how amazing it is? Okay. So you know Riverdale. It's all about Archie Andrews, and he's got his eyes on Veronica, but then he's got that next door neighbor like Betty, and she likes Jughead, and it's amazing, right?
Sure.
So season 3 starts with this weird cult that forms from a game that is clearly inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, but it's called something and Gargoyles.
Of course, because they always do.
Let me look up. It is honestly amazing. Griffins and Gargoyles, that's what it's called.
Of course.
And it's this weird cult, and basically there's the Gargoyle King, who is supposed to be like overseeing this entire game, and kids are getting way into the game and they have to like prove their worth to the Gargoyle King, but that involves like drinking poison and dying, and it's like, it's so good. I'm way into it. You keep shaking your head, but like I know you'd be way into it if you actually watched it.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, so I don't know why you're shaking your head then.
Oh, just sort of general disdain.
It's honestly, it's great.
I'm not a fan of the D&D cult stuff.
Why not? It's great.
Because it comes from a place of legitimately people thinking D&D was a cult and demonic worship, and a game that I genuinely love being like not abused, but you know, there was like a whole period of time where parents were like, you cannot play that fucking game because it's how Satan gets you.
Yeah, this is Griffins and Gargoyles.
Right, yeah, sorry, completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, Riverdale season 3.
Yeah. I can't
4.
wait for it to come back.
What is it on, like Christmas break?
Yeah.
Fair enough. My number 4, Liam, was Altered Carbon, another Netflix show.
Sci-fi. I see like the wallpaper for it and stuff.
It's based on a series of books that I love.
Okay, I didn't
about
know that.
Takeshi Kovac, I think his name is. It's based on a book called Altered Carbon. We're getting a second season, I think, again this year, and I think it's based on the second book. I hope it is, but I love that series, so I'm hoping that it will do good because I really liked that. I thought it was really good.
Fair enough.
I don't know what critics thought, but fuck them.
Well, doesn't matter if it got a second season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because this year Netflix particularly have been a lot more like brutal with just culling stuff. Like look at all the Marvel stuff, but equally like shows that I really enjoyed have just been axed. Like Everything Sucks. Loved the first season of that. No more.
Was it you that told me that's because a lot of people were starting to watch it and they're not finishing it?
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, you are. I got way into that show. That was one of the few shows I actually properly binged. Where I was like, I watched it in 2 nights.
It's a very you show.
Yes, and I can't think of no greater compliment to a show. And also like Flaked got cancelled as well, which I was bummed out about. So yeah, Netflix just need to calm their tits really.
Fair enough.
My
What's your
number 3,
third place?
The Good Place.
Oh,
just on Netflix.
Good Place in third place.
Exactly.
I haven't watched season 3 yet, so I couldn't put it on my list, and I don't know why I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't know why you haven't either. It's really good.
Because Good Place is, I love that show.
Because season 3 is the season that's currently airing, right? Yes. Yeah. So again, they're on Christmas break, but the first half, super good. Some great stuff.
Yeah, I probably will try and catch up with that so I can finish it with everyone else.
Did they do, again, like Riverdale, it would have been in the last half of season 2 in 2018 as well?
Think so?
That was also quite good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Good Place. On the list, in third place, what's your third place?
My third place, Liam, is Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Me and Kat are currently watching it.
I love it.
I'm struggling with it, but only because every time I'm like, should we watch it? Kat's like, nah. I don't think she's really enjoying it.
But it's all about witches, Liam.
Yeah,
teenaged.
I quite like it. The only slight issue I have is normally in the frame there's a lot going on, and at the moment when I watch TV, I have like this horrible blind spot that covers up like a bottom part of the screen. So that's
fair.
It's annoying when there's so much going on, and I'm like, well, I'm aware that I can't see some of it without like having to actively scan the screen with my eyes.
Yeah.
Which, then you're aware that you're doing that, and it takes you out of it a little bit. Whereas like other shows that are more like typically done. It's not on this list because I haven't watched this yet. The one that came out last year, but like This Is Us, for example, it's more of like a character piece without having a lot of like fantasy stuff going on. So it's just easier to just kind of.
That's fair.
Yeah,
understandable reason.
And also, This Is Us is basically like Parenthood, which I fucking love. So
of course.
It's amazing.
We're talking about my third place, not a film.
Sorry, but yeah.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch is good
We're on
because
4.
It's done a similar thing that Riverdale has done, I think, which is take this tradition, because Sabrina was a spin-off from Archie Comics.
And then you had the Melissa Joan Hart TV show that we grew up with.
So they had these spin-off comics that were like, from what I understand of Archie and Sabrina, not kiddie, but you know, they're not like hardcore, gritty comics.
Yeah.
They might have gone through periods where they did like, oh, this is an Archie special where it is dark and fucked up. But then you had, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV show and cartoon, both of which were aimed at kids. And what Netflix, I think, have done quite well with Sabrina and Archie is take things that are like that, and instead of most people, Disney, going like, oh, people used to like Kim Possible, let's do a new Kim Possible kids film.
Yeah.
They've gone, well, no, everyone that liked these things is now adults. Let's make some kind of dark, fucked up versions. And you're like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know obviously Archie's been going on for ages. I know they rebooted it like not that long ago in the last few years. And I think like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina graphic novel that I'm familiar with, that the like title of Sabrina takes a lot of its inspiration from, that came out also about the same time as the new Archie. So I don't know if there was like another like version of Sabrina. I'm assuming so, because that would have been when the 90s TV show would have taken its thing from. But I don't know how like
I think
dark it was in comparison or whatever.
No, to be fair, I don't either. I'm just assuming from the fact that it was an Archie spin-off that it probably wasn't. Because there's some fairly dark moments in this where kind of fucked up stuff happens.
Like the first episode starts with someone getting stabbed in the throat.
Yeah. So. Yes. And also, I fucking love what they've done with Salem the cat this time.
I mean, I don't think I've seen enough of it to comment, but I miss not having.
I mean, you've seen when Salem turns up, right?
Yeah.
That's all I mean. I love because in the TV show it was a talking cat who was a wizard that had broken the rules and been punished, which is now there are two characters, which I think is the original story.
Okay.
There is a wizard who's been punished, and Salem is this like familiar that she summoned.
Yeah.
But everyone else summons familiars and enslaves them, whereas Sabrina's done this like, we should be equals.
Yeah.
And maybe doesn't end up with the regular type of familiar.
Yeah.
But the scene where you sort of see him you see a glimpse of him in his like true form.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that, or maybe I haven't just didn't notice.
You must have, but you might. There's a bit where when she summons him, there's a bit with a mirror, and he's this. You see this really creepy like long spindly thing lean out from behind the mirror very briefly, and then she like gasps or something, and then the cat walks out from behind the mirror, and you're like, oh, Salem isn't a cat. He's like some sort of demon that she summoned.
Yeah, I just love we
that.
Started it like before Christmas, and we haven't gone back to it, and it's annoying me because I want to finish it, and Kat's
you got to do it.
She's just dragging her feet about the whole thing.
Do it by yourself.
Oh, she'll get moany if I do that.
Don't tell her.
Especially because she really wants to watch Daredevil season 3, and I won't let her till I've watched Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Alright, well.
And she's like, well, yeah, if I watch Sabrina by myself, she'll be like, why didn't you watch Luke Cage and Iron Fist by yourself?
Yeah, fair.
My number 2 is Big Mouth season 2.
That doesn't surprise me. I thought that would appear on this list.
Yeah, we started watching Big Mouth last year. We watched both seasons. It's super good. I'm only really familiar with Nick Kroll from The League.
Yeah.
But Big Mouth is just amazing. It's the sort of show that I think you would enjoy, but you just have to watch it, really.
I'll watch it when you watch Rick and Morty.
That's on Netflix, isn't it?
I think it goes on and off of Netflix. It's very confusing.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, the thing is, all I've heard about Rick and Morty is just like that the fans apparently aren't very nice.
Right, but the fans of video games aren't nice, so...
Yeah, I don't play those video games.
It's all video games. It's the video game community.
Oh, well, they all need to die in a fire then.
Jesus. Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's sort of a comedy, coming of age, but...
Animated.
Not quite, yeah.
It's just, it's the sort of thing where both me and Kat aren't big, like, animation fans, really.
Yeah.
But this tickled us. Like, just... I put the first episode on when Kat was away one night and laughed out loud several times throughout it, which surprised me. So then I told Kat to watch it, and she was like, oh, do I have to? And I'm like, just trust me on this. Which she did. And that was it. We were hooked.
Fair enough.
So maybe if you trust me on it, you'll get hooked.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe not. What's your number 2?
My number 2, Liam. My screen turned off at the exact wrong moment there. My number 2 is The Haunting of Hill House.
Keep hearing amazing things about it.
Another Netflix show.
Yeah.
It's me and my dad watched it because he'd heard about it from people, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll watch it together on Netflix.
Yeah.
And honestly, we watched one a night where we just stopped watching all other TV, which is unusual for me and my dad. Like, we've got stuff that, like, on a Wednesday we watch this show because it will have been on, but Haunting Hill House just took over. And then for the last 2 episodes, we did it on a Thursday when everyone else is out.
Yeah.
It's just me and my dad, and we were like, if we start now, we can just finish it today.
Yeah.
So we just binge watched the last 2 episodes, and just both loved it, and it's so good. Like, it didn't particularly scare me, but there's definitely jumpy bits in it.
Yeah.
It's not full of jump scares either. It's not like trashy horror.
Yeah.
It's legitimately good horror.
It's like, I imagine it's more like The Conjuring, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where you almost go in expecting it to be a bit jump scary, but actually
It's just fucking
those aren't the
creepy.
scary bits. Like there are some real creepy bits in the show that aren't relying on jump scares at all. Just not dread, but like you're watching something happen and you're like, oh, this is horrifying.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and you're like, oh.
Fair enough.
Good.
Yeah, and the thing, we started watching it, but we tend to watch a show when we have dinner. And we started watching it, I got literally a minute into it and was like, I need to concentrate on this. I can't be eating and watching.
No. It's a concentrate show.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And it's better for that. You need to concentrate because part of the fun was me and my dad being like, what do you think's happening?
Yeah.
And trying to figure it out.
Fair enough.
Which, to be fair to my dad, he solved a major plot point just by himself. Just literally went, like, on the day before we finished it, he was like, I think I've solved something and it might ruin it if I tell you because I genuinely think I'm right. So I was like, no, you got to tell me because I love that shit.
Yeah.
And then when we watched the final episodes, they did exactly that and I went, yep, fair play. You completely called that and that's fucking impressive.
Yeah. Maybe you should bring him over to take a look at Cat's Mystery Package. My number 1 TV show.
Yes.
Atypical Season 2. I love Season 1. I love Season 2. It's coming of age. It's right up my street. It's really good. I've reviewed it. I must have done at some point in the last year. It'll be on YouTube eventually. Once it's on YouTube, go listen to the review. That's why we do YouTube, really, to make it easy to find these sort of things.
Well, Liam does it because he's an anal arsehole, but yeah.
Yeah. It's why we've gone back and done all of the episodes for this reason.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because Atypical Season 1 review is currently on YouTube. So if you want to hear that's available for you. And Season 2 will be up at some point this year. At some point this year, the YouTube will catch up.
Yep, that's true. That is, Liam has told me that.
If we stick to if I stick to my current YouTube uploading schedule, which is 1 a day, Monday to Friday, at least, like 1 part of the show a day, and we stick to the Nerd on Nerd recording special, which is every 2 weeks.
We'll see.
If you're suddenly like, let's make Nerd on Nerd weekly, it will be harder to catch up.
It would be quite funny to do that just to fuck your YouTube schedule up.
It would,
anyway.
But you would not be able to keep on top of that.
No, that's true. My number 1, Liam, is a show that I raved about on the podcast, so I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone. It's Queer Eye.
Yeah, obviously.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
And both seasons were in 2018, so I can say both seasons.
To be
Number
fair,
1, I love Queer Eye. It's just so wholesome and lovely.
To be fair, that probably would have been my number 6.
Yeah. Yes, because you were completely not into it when I told you about it, and then eventually watched it and were like, oh, maybe I'll watch more, and then got into it.
It is just that, like, it's a feel-good show. It shouldn't really work.
Yeah.
But it kind of does.
Yeah. You just come out of the episodes being like, I'm really glad that happened, and I got to watch it.
Yeah, that's fair
Love
enough. On to films.
Films.
Our favourite films of 2018. Ellie, kick us off.
Number 5 was They Shall Not Grow Old.
Which,
Peter Jackson
nice,
recolouring World
cheery,
War I footage.
Great way to start.
It didn't get on there because I was like, oh, what a fun film. It got on there because I was like, 1, it's impressive.
It is impressive, yeah.
And he achieves his goals, which were to like make that war feel real, because his whole logic was, well, when you watch black and white footage that's
There's
all
a
shaky,
distance.
you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And this genuinely makes you go, oh, fuck, that was horrible.
Yeah. And
So,
you
like-
also got to see it at the cinema with a Q&A afterwards, hosted by Mark Commode, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and that was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And I think seeing it on a big screen as well, like, added to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my number 5. You?
My number 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Can't believe this is number 5 on your list.
Well, it is.
Shouldn't be.
But it is. I mean, at least it's on my list.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah, I mean, it's in your top 5 films of the year, so it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Praise.
So I probably saw a fair few more films than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I said before, I'm not usually a fan of animation. Really like the animation style in this. Like the story. I was just pleasantly surprised by it. Oh, I've got really into the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Could have done without Spider-Ham.
Doesn't matter. Spider-Ham's great. He's a spider, Liam. He wasn't a pig. He was a spider that got bitten by a radioactive pig.
Terrible.
Do you know his backstory at all?
Not really.
So that happens, right? This spider gets bitten by a mutant pig, or a radioactive pig, and becomes this pig. He then turns up on Aunt May's doorstep, who is a talking pig, and then she is so old that she doesn't know who he is, so he just convinces her that he's her nephew. He just convinces this old lady that he is her nephew, Peter Porker, and just lives with her. That's his version of the Aunt May story. Love it.
No. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Yeah, fair. My number 4, Liam, was Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I get that. It was just, I think it was maybe slightly better than the first Deadpool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just good. They're doing Deadpool right.
I loved the scene in the X-Men mansion.
Yes, where I never see any of the X-Men here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
There were some.
But that's like such a good joke considering the first. It's like them. Yeah. It's so meta because in the first one there are no X-Men.
Yeah.
So then having them be like, where are all the X-Men? But then also being like, no, we have got them.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
It was great. There has been some criticisms about the film using. I don't know what the trope is exactly called. It's something like woman in the fridge trope or something. Where
woman in the fridge.
Something like that. Yeah.
Explain. I've.
Let me Google. Just because I want to get it right, and I feel like I'm only like getting half of the story here. Women in the fridge trope. Yeah, that was right. Cool. So, women in refrigerators is a trope identified by comic book fan and now comic book writer Gail Simone because she was sick of seeing superheroines who have been either depowered, raped, or cut up and stuck in the refrigerator. And that was kind of levelled at Deadpool 2 for how it treats Vanessa in that film. How she comes from this like quite strong, powerful force in like the first one, like character, and in the second one, like she's basically just thrown away as a reason to propel the plot forward.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still thought it was a good film, so...
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was worth mentioning that it has been criticised by feminists particularly.
Thanks, Liam. What's your number 4?
Black Klansman.
Oh, that's a racist film.
Honestly...
I mean, it is. It's about racism.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It is, like, probably the most powerful film that I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I remember
you've reviewed it on the show.
Yeah.
And
I think all of these I've reviewed on the show, because that's what I do on this show.
To be fair, I have reviewed all of mine.
Yeah.
Except one.
Yeah. But yeah, this one just... Yeah. It just... I don't want to spoil things, I know you haven't seen it yet, but I just kind of came out of the cinema just almost like shell-shocked. It was really good. You should really watch it.
It's on my list. That's genuinely one of the ones that I'm like...
You should.
I've got like a list of films I should have seen this year that I didn't, and that's on there.
Fair enough. What is your number 3?
Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again.
Should be higher.
Yeah, well, it isn't. I mean, if you want to know my thoughts on this, we did a whole bloody Liam birthday special episode recently, which is all about it, and the first one. So go listen to that. But it's just a feel-good film. Well, number 1's a feel-good film.
Number 2.
This one's feel good, but also feel a little bit sad and cry a bit.
Yeah. It beats you in the emotions repeatedly, but it's also just so fun, so it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, it is very conflicting.
Yeah. My number 3 is Mission Impossible Fallout. It was great.
I remember you saying it's surprising.
I've
also heard that it's one of the best ones since like the second Mission Impossible. Or third. Maybe the second was bad and the third was good.
Really bad. Third. I really like the third. Second I did not like at all.
Fair.
Yeah, it is really good. I might have said this on the actual review that I did, but it is basically watching Tom Cruise for 2 hours just doing ridiculous stunts, basically risking his life just for my entertainment.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, and it's like, it's just ridiculous things where he's like, okay, I'm going to ride a motorbike into oncoming traffic, but I'm going to do it without a helmet because I want you to see that it's me, Tom Cruise, doing it. And I'm just like, I kind of have to respect that.
Yeah, but then he's a Scientologist, so I lose a lot of that respect.
Yeah, but I kind of ignore all that.
Yeah, fair.
Your number 2?
Avengers Infinity War.
What's your number 1 going to be then? Okay, yeah. That's also my number 2.
Yeah, it was just, this is like the culmination of whatever arc of Marvel we're currently in. I can't remember if we're in arc 1 or 2 or whatever we're in.
We're in phase 3.
That's it, phases, and we're in phase 3.
Yeah.
But in reality, this is the culmination of all of that stuff from all the films.
It's the start of the culmination.
Yes, because we're getting Endgame.
Yeah, but yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this was the film where we were like, oh, we had the Avengers where they all came together, but this is where that's been leading.
Yeah.
And then other things have been tying into it, and suddenly we're at a point where it's like, oh, this is the biggest Marvel thing.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
Thanos has been teased since end of the first Avengers, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
And it's just like it shouldn't work. There's so many characters, and they've all got they all have to have a certain amount of screen time, and it just. I remember when the first Avengers came out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm nervous that they're going to make this work."
Yes, I believe we on here were like, "I don't know if any, it might get pulled off and be good."
Yeah,
but who knows? And it did, and then now they're just like, "Fuck it, let's add 10 more characters." And
now we're at like 20 something characters.
It's ridiculous,
and it still somehow works, and it's just like I still haven't got to see what I wanted to see yet. Still waiting for that, but
well, if that's what I think it is, you're not going to see it.
No, probably not. But it's still just seeing Thor interact with Rocket.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I do know what you're talking about. It's not what I thought. Yeah, you might still see that.
What did you think I thought?
I thought...
Oh, a movie where it's just all of them just sat around talking?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
But I've realised it's Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man talking.
Yeah. But to be honest, even if I don't get to see that, seeing Thor interacting with Rocket Raccoon was kind of worthwhile. It's sort of like that was almost what I wanted from the Iron Man interaction with him anyway, so I'm happy.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so good. And seeing like Star-Lord and Doctor Strange and Iron Man just and then the whole Peter Parker stuff, just so good. Such a great and like so impressive for them to end it the way they ended it.
Yeah, 100%.
But we did an entire special episode, one of our 2 special episodes we did this year, so
go listen to it.
It's like over an hour of us talking about this film.
Okay, so that was your number 2 as well.
Yeah, so your number 1?
My number 1, Liam, was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Of course.
It's honestly, I just love this movie, and not for the reasons that you think I love this movie, which is just because Spider-Gwen's in it. No, Spider-Gwen, because I do love Spider-Gwen.
You do.
I have a hoodie in Spider-Gwen's costume because she's my hero. But this was, it's just such a good film.
Yeah, it did a good
I'm going to talk about it in our reviews if we're doing reviews because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Since the last
this
episode,
is
so
going to be a super long episode.
Oh, fuck me. We should probably just skip the reviews completely.
We'll just do them
Or
quick.
the void.
That might be preferable.
We could literally skip Culture Swap and we'd have a full episode.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just do stuff quick going forward. My number 1, Ellie mentioned it earlier. It was Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Honestly, I didn't have a more enjoyable film experience than watching this film. It took me like a second viewing to really get into it. Like I liked it the first time I watched it, but I think like my initial rating was like 3.5 out of 5 or something. And then I watched it again and was like, I just gave myself to the film, and I fell in love with Lily James. That was one of my highlights of 2018. In all honesty, was discovering Lily James and being like, oh, she's my favourite person in the world. It's that trick, right? In the second film, right, where she's making breakfast for Pierce Brosnan's character, but the young version, Sam. And
possibly.
She's got like an orange, and she like rolls it up her arm and then like does a thing and bounces it off of her arm and catches it. That was like my favourite moment in all of cinema of 2018. That 5-second scene.
Jesus Christ! Well, what an end to the top 5 list.
That was the moment where I was like, oh, I think I love her. It's easy to woo me. Be Lily James.
That's fucking weird.
2019 though.
Yeah, what we always are, listeners, we always tell you what we're most anticipating.
Right, I know we did this 2 years ago. I'm not 100% convinced we did it last year.
Well, we probably didn't.
But we're doing it this year. So, 2019.
Yeah, that is paper you can hear flicking in the background. Liam's an entirely paper-based person. That's why he's got that file cabinet from his mum.
Yep. Let's start with games.
Games, I am looking forward to Animal fucking Crossing. It's not called that, it's just called Animal Crossing.
That could be a mod
I love
for
Animal
it,
Crossing. I just love Animal Crossing. It's such a good game.
Okay.
Just genuinely excited for it. I didn't know it was coming out until we were researching what we were excited for, and I went, "Oh fuck me, Animal Crossing's coming out." Yeah, that.
Any others?
We're only doing one. We're doing
I'm
one.
doing 3.
We're doing one. No, we're doing... No.
I've got
we're
3.
doing 1.
I'm sorry,
Well,
I've
we're
got 3.
doing 1.
I've got
We're
3.
doing 1, so I'll cut out the other 2.
Don't need to, because I've got 3.
Liam, what number comes before 2?
3.
You're going to say 1 at some point in this episode, and I'm going to cut and paste it into how many you say you're doing.
No. So
You're going to go, well, I've got 1.
look, I've got 3 games. I'm just going to do them quickly.
Just say them quick then.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake, Days Gone,
Yep.
big zombie theme emerging, and Anthem. Is that what it's called? Yeah. That's
Yep,
what I've written.
Anthem.
Anthem, which...
Big giant space robot suits.
that fly around. I think I did those 3 quicker than you did your 1.
Yeah, probably.
On to the next one.
TV shows, Liam.
Keep saying 1.
I'm looking forward to Game of Thrones.
What season?
8.
I'm looking forward to This Is Us season 3. I'm currently watching season 2. Oh, it might be season 4. I don't know. Whatever season's coming out this year.
I did my one way faster than Liam's doing his one.
Don't care. Loved it. Stranger Things season 3, which I'm surprised you're not looking forward to.
I am, but I'm only doing 1. I'm
And
most looking forward to Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones season 8.
It's literally, the segment is called Most Anticipated. That's how we described it. That's how I wrote it down.
In
Most
the past one,
Anticipated.
we
You
did
can't have
several.
3.
We did
This is like
several
Liam's
each.
Guilt 3 free list.
Yeah. No, except there's only 3 on this list. Films.
Obviously, Avengers.
Yep, Endgame. Agreed.
Yep.
But also, Spider-Man Homecoming, which...
No.
What? Oh, no, it's not called Homecoming, is it? It's
Spider-Man
called Spider-Man
Far
Far
From
From Home, which... Like, I get why they've announced it and stuff, but also it kind of spoilers, right?
I mean, that's not the only one. We've got Doctor Strange 2 coming out, Black Panther 2 coming out. They literally,
Doctor Strange
Marvel
2, I
just
think.
went... What was that?
Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah. So it's literally just... Marvel went, yeah, we know we gave it away. Here's all the other films we're making.
Yeah. Also, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile. No, that's one film.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's where all the letters spell something.
Oh, no. It's just...
Swear.
It's the film...
What's the other words? Shockingly evil.
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile.
Extremely wicked. Yusuf.
Yeah, sure.
Yusuf.
It's the film about Ted Bundy. Who's playing Ted Bundy, I hear you ask? Fucking Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I think we're looking forward to that for different reasons. I like it because I like true crime. You like it because you love Zac Efron.
Did you say love?
Yeah.
Good.